Hi everyone, this is Frank Rotz. I am getting started on a little bit more detailed recipe than the spur of the moment videos that I did before, and this is for potato soup, and it's a pretty simple recipe. I actually lost the piece of paper it was on before, but I went into a cookbook and can pretty much do it from memory. What you're going to do is I do about 10 potatoes, and I usually cut them in half. Boil about 6 cups of water, which is a little bit more than some recipes. I'm going to do a tomato because I've got one, and I'm going to do lots of garlic and onion because my nose is kind of stuffed up, and I like onion. You may think that's way too much onion. But you've got 10 of these, and you let 6 cups of water boil, and it's pretty easy to do. So the water's about to boil, and I'll add this with those 10 potatoes and show you the other steps. And I almost forgot, perhaps, the most important part of this recipe that I'm adding to it is this is the butt section of a regular inexpensive cooked fully smoked pre-cooked ham. Now this doesn't look all that appetizing and there isn't much you can do with it. What you do with an inexpensive ham, if this is the butt section here, and then if you had your middle section and your front section, you cut the front section for more or less sandwiches, that's more tender. Then in the back you use it more for baking, and then when you get to this, it makes an outstanding, creates an outstanding stock for potato soup. So I've added everything that was on here, the 10 potatoes, and let me add that and we'll get going with the recipe. Now my seasoning stuff does not probably look like anything new. You may think I add this to every single thing. I really don't. I haven't used these seasonings for a long time. Dill, pepper, good paprika, saffron. It's well worth it. I don't know, this says it's from Afghanistan. There's so many different grades, but make sure you add saffron. That's going to give it that sweetness that isn't syrupy sweet or overpowering. And of course, a little extra virgin Italian olive oil. So we're going to use these ingredients, season them, add them how you want. I tend to run a little bit heavier on paprika than more people. So I'm going to add this and get the stock going. So that's the soup. It really doesn't look like anything much until it gets going. The only thing we're going to add to that is flour, milk, and butter later on, after 20 minutes when the potatoes boil. So once you stir that in, you can see it's looking pretty darn good now. We're going to let it boil about 7 minutes, check the seasoning, and then maybe let it boil for a few more minutes. But that's with 3 tablespoons. I added 1 extra tablespoon of flour, 3 tablespoons of flour, and about a cup and a half of milk. So that's stirred, and we're going to let it cook a little more. Okay, that looks a little better. I adjusted the white balance on it. Before it was a little orange. But there it is. Some people don't like the skins. So you boil it for 22 minutes, and then you boil it for 7, and then add some seasoning. I'll leave the recipe. So, about 34 minutes time total if you want to have it nice and thick. Otherwise, you can do it in about 20 minutes. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. A homemade potato soup. I'll leave the recipe below. Take care. Thank you very much. And sub if you're new here and you like this.